How did it go today?
It was a good workout.
Trey Burke, coach, how could he fit in with this franchise here?
He's a point guard, score the ball. He's got really good vision. He's put on some muscle. He looks a little bit different than he did in the championship game. He certainly can add some speed to our team. But you don't know how that's going to translate yet. They're so young. You don't know what's going to happen when you have to go against the best in the NBA. But he's a good player. He had a good workout today. And, I think he's going to have a good career.
I guess the knock on him is his lack of athleticism. Did you see that today?
It's hard to figure out all that stuff when you don't have competition. So, I don't know. I've watched him on film. He's been able to be pretty productive with what he has. Everybody wants a perfect player. He's certainly proven that he can become the player of the year in college. So he's doing something right. But it's hard to gauge all that when they don't compete against each other, and you can't put them in game situations.
From what you've seen of him on film and whatnot, how would you rate him as a defensive player?
All these guys got to work on that. It's hard, especially when you base it on the kind of defense you're seeing in the finals. It's hard to evaluate and compare. I wouldn't say any of these guys are great defenders. There may be a couple shot blockers, but to say that they're great defenders, that would be overstating. But all of the guys are high character guys, so that means they can get better and they'll probably improve in that area.
Do you feel as though the kids you've seen today, is their learning curve going to be as steep as, say, Austin and Anthony's was last year?
Probably. I just think when you're that young, it's hard to process all this stuff. These guys are 19, 20 years old. As talented as they are, you're still playing against men. And when you talk about Trey and Michael, they're going to have to go against Russell, Chris Paul, and Darren Williams, and Tony Parker. That's a lot. So the learning curve is always steep no matter who you are coming into the draft and going to your respective NBA team.
I know it's only one extra year, but all these guys are sophomores as opposed to the fact that Austin and Anthony only had 1 year in college. Do you see a difference this time last year between those two guys and these guys?
Well, Anthony and Austin, most people would say they're high-level young players. So Trey and these guys, Michael, Alex, they may have more experience, but I think they're all about the same because of the age. You just can't skip steps. You got to, when you're 19 and 20 years old, the experience in college is great, and the coaching and all that, but the NBA is a different beast.
Monty, what did you?
So it just depends on the individual, I think.
I'm sorry, Monty. What did you? Although he didn't work out, what did you learn from Alex in the meeting with him?
I like him. Anybody who is able to do what he's done this far away from home says a lot about his toughness and character. He's a big kid. He's pretty engaging. Looked me in the eye when we talked. Answered all my questions. And I like that he's really close to his family. We talked about that. But there's only so much you can do in an interview. I mean, I'm not the interviewing type, so we just talked. So I didn't learn anything redeemable about him. He's just a good kid. I like him on film, though. That's what I tend to. I know more about him as a player just watching him on film. He can do a lot of stuff on the floor that a lot of young bigs can't at this point in their career.
When you look at this process right now, how much, I guess, even if you look at it percentage-wise, you evaluate film, a personal interview, personal workout when you're trying to evaluate a player when it comes to draft?
How much what?
Like, I guess, do you value more what you see on film, more a personal interview or workout, or is it like a 30-30 kind of, I mean, how do you break those three aspects down when you evaluate a player overall?
I think it all has to line up. You can't. If the film looks good and what you've heard about the kid is good, and the numbers on paper, if all that's good, then you got yourself a good player. We try to make sure that we get at least 2 out of 3 of those variables. And most of the guys we brought in fit that mold. So I don't
Monty,
know
you
what
mentioned-
percentage it is, but I think anytime you try to get too complicated, you over scout, and you start looking for a perfect player, you get yourself in trouble.
Thanks, Monty.